Well, happy January 1st. Have you got goals? And do you need motivation to achieve those goals? Do you need ways to outline and develop clear goals to find increased motivation? Excellent. Then you really are in for a treat today. That's exactly what we're talking about. We can increase our motivation and we can create achievable goals. We can do this. Let's learn about it together. All right, when goal setting, you can do things to make goals easier to achieve, and you can increase your motivation at the same time. So consider what it is you really want. We have to choose one goal, and we have to focus on that one goal until you complete it. Now, science tells us if you try to change too many things at once, you're going to give up on everything because it's just too hard. Because it is. We need focused attention, and we need more focused attention than that to focus on and achieve our goals. We need more focused attention than that. We need to work hard on one goal. We need to knock it down to some steps, and we need to achieve the steps to keep ourselves motivated to move forward. We need to do this, and as we do this, we will find that we have increased motivation to do the next part of it. Remember, we've talked about this, we've hit on it several times, that dopamine is the reward chemical that is implicated in motivation. And it's a reward chemical, which means that it comes after what we do. So we have to actually take action before we get a hit of motivation to keep us going. So we get this motivation from dopamine once we have done something moving us toward our goal, and it really does work. So if you want more motivation, go do something. Choose something that you need or want and get it done. Then you'll have energy and drive to do the next thing. Try it. It's psychology. It is beneficial and it works. When considering what you want, what that first goal is, you also need to consider your starting point. So you have knocked it down. You had a list of 950 goals because it's January 1st, and you have all of these goals that you want to achieve in this year. When you've knocked it down to that one goal, what is it going to be? Well, what's the starting point? Let's say you look at your list and you decide that you want to run a marathon. I'm in my running gear today. I was out walking the dogs earlier. I wasn't running today. Got a little bit of a head cold going on. But let's say you want to run a marathon, but you're currently some sort of beautiful sofa spud. And so your starting point is different. It doesn't mean that you cannot run a marathon, but if you're currently not running at all, maybe start by walking daily, then do a run-walk program, then sign up for a 5K, then some longer distances. And when the shorter distances become easier, set your sights on longer ones until finally you have that day where you're out running a marathon. I remember the first day I ran 20 miles. Actually, my friend sent me a picture of it the other day. It was my very first time ever running 20 miles, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning. We cracked open a bottle of champagne and had champagne to celebrate. And that's the other thing. Celebrate those steps. Because when we celebrate it, we're actually getting more serotonin, more dopamine, more of the reward chemicals that we need to keep us going. Maybe you want your doctorate in leadership, but you're still an undergrad, or you haven't even gone to university or college yet. But that's your goal. Keep working. Keep chipping away at things. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to, but you've got to chop it down into smaller, achievable goals so that you don't become overwhelmed by the whole big project. Whatever the goal is, the chunks need to be manageable and digestible. Remember, as you complete each stage, celebrate it. You achieved something incredible. The celebration increases the reward chemicals, like I said, and giving you an extra serving of what's needed for the next step. Then when you're considering your starting point, don't look for excuses. Look for areas to shore up. It's what we call in psychology a reframe. So instead of, I know I'm not running far, so if I fail, I knew I couldn't do it anyway, I reframe that to be, I haven't been running much, neither fast nor far, so I need to start slow and work up. This is going to be a challenge. I can do challenging things. Keep track of your growth and look back at how far you've come week over week and month over month and year over year. It can be difficult to see during the day. And progress isn't just like this. Remember, progress is a little bit like this. In any goal, there are going to be times when it's easier and times when it's harder. We've talked about this before. I've got actually it's a cold and an upper respiratory thing going on, and it makes life more difficult. But it doesn't mean I can't continue working toward goals. It just means it's going to look different today. That's why we look at week over week, month over month, year over year, to see the growth. Keep track so that you can see this, so that you can encourage yourself. If you have a goal of a higher education degree, but you're working full-time and haven't completed your undergrad, it can seem overwhelming. Break it down after you've selected your area of study and then knock off a course or two at a time. And when beginning the course, each of these pieces, don't become overwhelmed by the syllabus. Take a look at the big picture of what you need to get done, because you need that too. You need to know if there's something you need to be working on all term, but then focus on what you have to do today, because we can't make it not only too many goals, but make the goal too big, or it becomes overwhelming and move forward with it. So when beginning the course, don't become overwhelmed. Focus on what's in front of you, what's due today, this week, next week, and do that thing. When considering your goal, consider what's knocked you off track in the past. Is it lack of discipline? Lack of motivation? Would you like to know a secret? In case you didn't hear it before, because I did tell you this one already, I'm going to make it really clear. It bears repeating. It's something maybe you should repeat to yourself as well. Motivation comes from discipline, from doing the thing. And discipline isn't something you have. Discipline is something you do. Discipline is a choice followed by an action. And guess what? You can do it even when you don't feel like it. Or maybe it's something different. Maybe you have discipline and ample motivation, but you allow, that was my dog shaking, but you allow external voices to cause you to stop, or maybe even not get started. So the crowd around you and your own self-talk, they matter. Maybe you have decent motivation to begin, on this January 1st. It's usually a day filled with hope and motivation and lofty goals, but maybe you let someone in on the goal and they shoot it down. You tried that before. Do you really think it's going to work this time? You can't possibly do that. What are you thinking? Just stay where you are. It's safer. A graduate degree is stressful. Do you need that right now? Your family needs you more. You're so selfish. Guard your goals, my friends. Don't let the goal shooter downers shoot down what you have planned. Just set your mind to doing it. And just an aside, we do have to set our minds to what we want to achieve. So visualization is a beautiful addition to our work, but we've got to do both. We can't just sit in our family rooms on our sofas, being little sofa spuds, and picture ourselves being a fantastic runner, wonderful athlete, and never set foot on the pavement. The development won't happen. I must have both. I must see myself doing the thing and feel what it's like to do it, but I also have to do the work. This takes me to the next saboteur, and it's our own minds. We begin something and then doubt ourselves. We talk. Did I just put a thumbs up and a thumbs up? Yeah. Huh. Oh, and just an aside, if you do a thumbs up on a video, it's going to thumbs up. Anyways, we have to set our minds to what we'd like to achieve. This takes me to the next saboteur, our own minds. We begin something and then we doubt ourselves and we talk ourselves out of our dreams. Remember to pay attention to your thoughts, friends. They can be filled with distortions. We've talked about these distortions that pull us aside and stop us from following our passions. So instead of, oh, I can't do this, it's I can't do this yet. I don't know how to do anything. What am I thinking? I don't know how to do it all, but I know how to do some of it, and I can ask for help, and I can do research. I'm bright. I can figure this out. What will people think of me if I can't do it? What do I care? What will I think of me at the end of my life if I don't try? What if I fail? Well, I only fail if I stop trying. Pay attention to your thoughts. Many of our thoughts and beliefs are not the result of what we think, but what was spoken over us. So change your thoughts, like I said earlier. What are the thoughts that stop you from achieving your goals? Reframe them. Keep your goal in front of you as well. Science has demonstrated that it's important to write your goal daily and have it in place, in a place where we can see it. So pick up a sticky notepad. Every day you get up, write your goal down and put it someplace where you want to see it. Put it in a different place, because we also know that we get used to seeing things in different places and then they become like a part of the furniture. We don't really see them. So put it someplace different and also write it differently. You know, maybe one day I will run a marathon and the next day I'm training to be a runner with an ultimate goal of running a marathon. Or, you know, for the degree, I will get my degree, or I will complete 2 courses toward my degree this term, or I'll study an hour a night toward my degree. Maybe it's weight loss. I will work toward my goal of a healthy weight. I will pay attention to when and how much I'm eating toward my goal of a healthy weight. I will look at food as fuel instead of a reward toward healthy weight and healthy relationship with food. The reasons are many for writing them out. We're actively rewiring our minds. We're reminding ourselves of the goal we've set. We're better able to stay on track with the goal when we stay in line with the goal when we keep it in mind. And the negative voices of goal sabotage are easier to recognize and then ignore when I'm intentional about the positive and the reasons why I'm doing it. We are capable of setting goals. We are capable of achieving goals. They require work. Work towards goals increases motivation. And here's a bonus point for you. Figure out what time of day is the most productive for you to work toward your goal. People often have decision fatigue at the end of a day, so choose to work on something at the beginning of the day rather than the end, because a choice to do something hard at the end of the day, we're worn out. So try to do it at the beginning of the day, when your energy and resolve are highest. It is discipline. And remember, discipline is something you do, not something you have. The motivation will increase in time as your system gives you what you need more and you see the fruit of your action. You know, most high achievers do their best work in the morning. Exercise is easier to fit in as the day begins, and healthy eating is easier when bad food choices aren't available and healthy meals are easy. So set yourself up to do the thing, one smart choice at a time. Maybe your goal is better mental health in 2024. I encourage you to work on this with a mental health counselor. They can help you identify problematic patterns of thought and behavior and help you develop new skills toward a mentally healthier you in 2024. whatever your goal, big or small, I hope that you remember to be kind to yourself as you work toward change. I have a consistent conversation with a dear friend of mine. What is it that makes some people carry on and some people fold when things get difficult? I think there are many things that I touched on earlier, but one of the biggest, I believe, is a lack of a supportive community, whether that's family, friends, or coworkers. We need one another. And I hope that you find this channel supportive and uplifting. If you know someone that may benefit from the content, please share it with them. Give it a thumbs up. There it is. If it resonated with you, that is so weird. In some way, subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And finally, as I always end here at Orange Therapy, I want to thank you for joining me here January 1st at Orange Therapy on YouTube, where you are welcome exactly as you are.